Yvette says, so many years we've been unable to communicate, and we have a child with so many special needs, making it quite often not able to support one another, especially primarily we live different coasts. I primary caretaker here with not so much support. Dealing with my trauma, I was unable to help him with his difficulties. I have to get through this journey and forgiveness of so much, many including myself. Yes, this bread bringing is his mentality. I want nurture and be nurtured, struggling on how to connect. It's difficult, it's okay to be the breadwinner, of course. That's very noble. That's very noble. But yeah, better communication and more time, maybe for you and him alone to connect. It's like if you have a child with special needs, that tends to take up most of your guys' time and effort, and communication goes towards the child. But and then if he's the breadwinner, all of his focus goes on that, and if you're the nurturer of the child, all of your focus goes on that. So I think you guys lack alone time with yourself to connect to the things that you guys have between the two of you that has maybe gone out through the ages, through the time. If you focus most of your time on the child, he focuses mostly on breadwinning, and then all the communication you have is either conflict or resolving past conflict. You need new time together that is either like soft-spoken communication, loving speech, listening to one another, like cuddling, date time, watching a movie together, just connecting physically, nervous system regulation, breathing together, going for walks together, anything that has nothing to do with the past. It's just the two of you enjoying your own company. Sometimes people can get hopeless because maybe many times you guys have tried to connect and something wasn't right, like the communication wasn't right. And then now, if he doesn't have any interest, maybe he's hopeless. Maybe he's gone into this mode of like, I don't even want to talk to you anymore because it won't lead to anywhere. Or maybe he's tired. Like, there's so many variables that can go into this. If you guys have like recent history or the last maybe a year of every time that you have tried to talk, it ended up in frustration, that causes a lot of tiredness, a lot of exhaustion and fatigue in people, and they lose morale, they lose hope that any further communication will be better. And it takes both of you effort to have a loving speech. And loving speech is like your tone of voice, your compassion, like how is work for you, and are you okay, are you tired, how do you feel? And then you let the person speak, and then they let you speak and ask you how you feel. Like, we just don't know how to communicate in society at all, and with each other, because each one of us has a lot of things to unpack, a lot of emotional charge, and we are unable to speak to one another without any past things coming out emotionally. And we can't make a blank slate and say, okay, let's try to forget the past and just work on today. Let's just work on today. And then if he works a lot and then comes home, he probably needs a vacation first and then to talk to you. Or like you need to catch him like on a Sunday morning or something, or on a Saturday night after the week is done and he had a lot of time playing tennis or walking in the forest or playing chilling out with his friends. And then like on a Saturday night or like a Sunday morning, you come to him when he's sort of well rested, he had alone time, and then you sort of talk to him. You need to take into consideration, he needs to take into consideration your suffering, and you need to take into consideration his suffering. And that's not easy. That's the hardest thing in the world, to have compassion for someone else while you are suffering also, and for them to have compassion for your suffering while they are suffering also. And then you also have a child with special needs who also suffers, and it's so difficult. It's such a difficult situation. It's such a difficult situation. Is break a good thing? Some distance between people, so he can rest and you can rest, and take self-care. So like exercise, good food, going outside, getting someone to help you out, connecting with your friends. This live is also a form of self-care, like looking for people to help you, looking for guidance. And then he should be ideally doing the same thing for him, body care, emotional care, mental care for him, spending time doing things that he enjoys. And then when you are recharged a little bit and he is recharged a little bit, then finding the perfect timing to mend. Doesn't stop me from trying. You are correct. I need help on my timing. Good points. Yeah. These types of things really, really require to have compassion. And you can't have compassion for others if we can't see other people suffering, if we don't mend our own suffering. So as long as he doesn't get enough rest from work, he will never be able to understand your need for rest from taking care of the children, for example. And also, if you never take into consideration that he needs rest from work when he comes home, stuff like that, and he needs his days off, and he maybe doesn't have the capacity to talk about issues all the time. Maybe you need to talk a little bit and then go back, stand back. You talk a little bit, you resolve one little issue, and then okay. So it's over time. Your timing, his rest, your rest. Listening is so important, so important. Like really setting out time, like let's talk about an issue, and having like an hour or 2 hours set out just for resolving that issue. So it's very slow, it's very not rushing. But because we live in this type of lifestyle where we have like 15 minutes of conversation with our loved ones, it's almost like I have this problem, I have this emotional problem, we need to resolve this now because I need to do the dishes, I need to do this or that. And it's so much pressure then. You can't resolve these things. That's why you have therapy, where it's like 1 hour uninterrupted expression. That's why people go to couples counseling, because it's a time you set aside, 1 hour or 2 hours, where problems will be resolved. There's nothing else. But people most often don't think of communication and resolving issues as something that needs to have its own time, and you need to prepare for the time, and you need to rest before the time, and you need to breathe slowly, and all these things. It's like meditation, it's like yoga, it's like any practice. It's very delicate, it's very subtle, it's very to be taken seriously and to be taken slowly and mindfully. So